You mentioned the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I'm glad you mentioned that because I noticed that they do come up in the book, and so my assumption is that they would come up because of the intention of that element of the power structure wanting to introduce harmful, toxic things to not just us here domestically, but to populations everywhere. I mean, we know the game plan now. We know what the NGOs do. We know what these groups do when they put millions and millions and billions of dollars ultimately into changing existing populations in target areas, target arenas, and whole continents. So, what did you dig up? Can you tell us more about that? That you dug up these policies directed towards changing Ethiopian culture to basically remove its Christian heritage. And my guess is that it's going to be the types of stuff that we've seen in the U.S., right? Like the population, modernism, feminism, these kinds of things.
Well, it's all those things, but it's primarily contraception to Africa.
Uh,
And the reason it's primarily contraception to Africa is they believe the same thing that I do, which is birth rates is the key central issue of our planet at this time. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church believes that birth control is a sin. Therefore, its people, when they follow the church and the scriptures, have lots of children. Well, there's now a big battle for the minds and hearts of those Ethiopian Orthodox to practice contraception. The largest population control conference in the history of the world took place in 2013 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And the Gates Foundation pointed to Ethiopia as the model case for their success in their efforts to start bringing contraception to Africa. So they know what they're doing and they're on it. And we've seen the birth rate in Ethiopia has dropped from 7 to 5 in the last 20 to 30 years. And it's projected to drop to 4.2 in the next, I think, 7. So they're plotting it out. They're working hard at it. Now, in 2009, Bill Gates gathered the richest men in the world together in Manhattan.
yes, and Oprah.
Yes, but the main ones were, usual suspects: Warren Buffett, George Soros, Ted Turner, David Rockefeller, and they got together and they had these secret meetings to discuss what is the most important issue on the planet. And they all gave like a 15-minute presentation, but they all decided to go with Bill Gates's presentation, and that was the biggest problem on the entire planet is overpopulation in Africa. So that's where all their resources have been primarily targeted. And so then you see some strange things begin to develop, and I talk about this in the book. But in Kenya, which is about half 52% of the medical healthcare system in Kenya is owned by the Catholic Church, and they started noticing